All right, team, welcome back to the Real South Africa. This is Mark Blanton, and today we have a special show because we're going to be bringing you something that's in the tourism space, which we call investment tourism. You're going to have the opportunity to see a video where we're having an interview with Sandile. He's the CEO of Crede Financial Services. Obviously, you guys have been seeing the promo saying that it's coming. Well, now it's here, and then we're going to be having several conversations over an extended period of time. But at the same time, we want you guys to subscribe to our channel and enjoy what you see, and of course share and all that good stuff. So we will get going. Of course, pay attention. Holla is coming soon, and the takeover is happening. And then, of course, for your investments, make sure that you reach out to Crede. It's time to invest in South Africa. All right, guys, this is what it's really all about. South Africa right now is this picture here. We're kind of showing you it at night. This is Sandton City. This is probably the most expensive square mile in all of Africa. A lot happens here. A lot of business happens here. Most people from around the world come here to conduct business. And so we're just happy that we're in Johannesburg and we're able to share it with you. Of course, you can always come on a trip. We can definitely take care of you when it comes to that. That's what we do here at the Real South Africa. And you need to have several reasons why you are coming to South Africa. Obviously, you need to do some of the tourist stuff, but again, you need to realize where you are, and this is one of the places that you'll be able to go to. Of course, at night it's kind of fun. There's always some nightlife things going on here, and those that are South African, they know exactly what we're talking about. But it's for you as well, especially if you are a tourist. And again, if you don't know what to do, don't know where to go, obviously that's where we come in. We sort everything out for you. But we wanted to show you this because, South Africa is a very progressive society, and they have a thing called the stock exchange, and they do a lot here, and that's why they're able to be as progressive as they are. Now, the whole country obviously isn't like this, but right here in Sandton City, you'll get a lot of people from around the world that come here just simply so they can conduct business and, of course, shop. Do a lot of leisure type things, and it's available to you as well. I would call it, about the closest you're going to find on the continent to Wakanda. And I know that's fictitious, but this is real. We would love to host you here, get you here, and let you see it for yourself. It is amazing to see what goes on here in Africa. I know that, from the U.S. perspective, or even from the diaspora perspective, we don't see these things. We don't know these things exist, but they actually do. And of course, why wouldn't it? I mean, this is what Africans do. They build, we do what we need to do to, make a life for us, since obviously the outside world is not here to do it for us. So we do it ourselves. But again, this video is based on the stock exchange. We did a video where we kind of went to the stock exchange, but we didn't actually go in. But right now, we really want to focus on a company called Crede. The CEO himself worked for the stock exchange for many years, so he can give us an insight of how that works. And the stock exchange here is one of the largest in the world, and that's why Johannesburg is so progressive, and South Africa itself is growing and growing and growing, probably at a rate faster than anywhere else in the world. So we definitely want to show you that. We want you to watch this entire video for a lot of reasons. There's going to be a lot of information because we're going to talk about stuff for people who have businesses who want to invest in South Africa. We're going to talk about the individual person who want to talk about, hey, I want to buy stocks, some emerging stocks that are brand new here in South Africa, and of course get in contact with some of the more higher performing stocks. And then, of course, there are those of us who, especially on the outside of Africa, and especially South Africa, always wanted to, invest in South Africa in companies here, but we never had the opportunity to do so, or we didn't know how to do it. So what we're going to do now is that we're literally are going to dispel a lot of those myths. We're going to talk to an expert in the financial services arena here who's been doing it for many years, from post-apartheid on. He's been a very conscious person when it comes to what to invest in. And of course, if you have a business and you want to start, maybe he can help assist you in fundraising to start that business. And of course, if you have a standing business already, even if it's a Fortune 500 company in the US, he can assist you, or his company can assist you in opening up offices here, starting business here. So everything is going to be in this episode, and it's very important that you watch this. Of course, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, because we're going to continue to do more interviews with him as well. And then at the same time, we would love for you to share on your social medias to let everybody know what's going on here on the continent, because you're not going to get this on your major news outlets, probably in your magazines and periodicals, things along that line. So you're just not going to get it. So, but we're going to bring it to you firsthand, because again, we are a full service, travel and tourism company based in Johannesburg. Even though we are Americans, we are here, and we feel that we need to, we feel like we have a civic duty, let's just say that, to spread the word and let people know what's really going on here. But all the images that you see are images that you are seeing or will see once you arrive here in Joburg. It's beautiful, isn't it? I think this is something that you might want to get involved in. So right now we're getting ready to go directly to the source and get all the information that we need. So stay tuned. Hello, you guys. My name is Mark Blanton from the Real South Africa, and we're here getting ready to talk about investments. Now, y'all saw us earlier at the JSC in another video, but now we're going to continue. And so at this point, we're going to go upstairs, talk to one of the professionals here in South Africa who generally just talks strictly about investments. And so you're going to learn a lot, and we're fortunate enough that he was very gracious for us to come to his company to actually talk about investment. So you guys that are in South Africa can take advantage of this, and of course those of you guys that are in America and wherever else can take advantage of this. This company is absolutely awesome. It came highly recommended, and we're going to go up there right now and have a good conversation with those guys. Perfect. All right, everyone, this is Mark Blanton from the Real South Africa. You guys know us, and you know that we always try to bring you guys the best information possible. And so what I'm going to do now is introduce a young man here who's done very well in the financial space here in South Africa. He's from KwaZulu-Natal. Matter of fact, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell me who you are.
I'm Sandile Sokela.
Yep.
I run a company called Crede Capital Partners.
Yeah.
We do a bit of transaction advisory, fund management, and insurance, and we operate throughout Southern Africa.
Okay.
And we've got partners in East and West Africa. But we can get into a bit more detail later on.
Okay. So as you see, we came to the right place. Like I said, you guys saw us earlier in another video where we were at the Joburg Stock Exchange, and of course, a lot of us in the U.S. don't realize that there is a stock exchange here. A lot of us don't even know that there's even an opportunity to invest, and if there were opportunities to invest, what to invest in. Now you've been doing this your entire career, I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in the financial services for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
Started out within call it the listed space, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange,
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
on the trading side. Interesting. It's one of the largest actually exchanges globally. It's in the part of in the top 10
So it's up there.
largest. It's yeah. It's over $1 trillion US market cap.
Okay. Okay.
Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So started out my career working for one of the reputable big investment firms, asset management, and eventually started out a business with a couple of partners. We grew that to 20 billion assets under management,
Okay.
and went into the private equity when clean tech
Okay.
became an asset class that investors would look at,
Okay.
and eventually started this business doing a lot more across the board: infrastructure, retail, and different items.
So you've done a lot.
We're still going to do a lot.
Okay. So he's going to do a lot more, and of course, you guys have the opportunity to get in the game as well. And this right here is one of the experts that we're going to deal with. Obviously, we're going to do a series of events. So we can't cover everything today, but we're going to cover a lot of stuff just to kind of let you know that South Africa is ready. Would you agree?
Yeah, South Africa is ready. A lot of investors use South Africa as the landing pad into the rest of the continent.
Okay.
A lot of the people when they land here, they don't expect the kind of infrastructure. They don't.
What do you mean? Give me an example. Tell me a story.
I mean, Johannesburg, you could be anywhere around the large metropolitan developed economies when you're in Johannesburg.
Okay.
You get the same 5-star treatment for probably half the price, if not less.
Yeah.
So it's a great lifestyle. You've got nature out here.
Yeah.
You've got the ocean out here. So yeah, you've got the wildlife, and you've got different cultures all here.
Yeah.
You've got a huge European contingent that still comes down and
a lot, yeah,
and stays there for a long time.
Yeah.
And we enjoy that. I mean, South Africa is one of the places where you can still own land.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah.
It's places where there's complete security of tenure when it comes to your legal rights.
Yeah.
And as a result, investors find it easy to deploy capital and generate a return in this place.
Yeah, that was one of my things. It seemed when I got here, everything was, above board. Everything was in order, and to be able to purchase a home here and own land was fairly easy. It was no different than buying a home, in the United States. At the end of the day, you go through the closing process, and then the land is in your name. The home is in your name. Is yours.
Yep.
And no different than in the United States. Okay. So let's talk about where South Africa has been in reference to people coming here to invest versus what they're doing now. Like early on, like I know you said you've been in the game for like 20 years. So how was it back then for investments versus now?
So South Africa has always been open to international investors.
Yeah.
There hasn't been restrictions. We may have restricted ourselves from investing offshore as South Africans.
Yeah.
So there were exchange controls going as far back as you could only invest about 10% of your funds outside the country. I mean, we've increased that now to about 30%.
Okay.
So different institutions can invest, internationally. I mean, South Africa, one of the most unique things about South Africa is that we've got compulsory savings.
Okay.
Right? And those compulsory savings, unlike most emerging markets, in South Africa, they're more than equivalent, or even more of our annual GDP. So if you compare other countries, they're at 5% to GDP, 12% to GDP. South Africa has got over, in rand terms, life savings, unit trust, compulsory savings, over 8 trillion rand. So what that means is that we've got capital to invest here and offshore.
Okay.
And offshore investors have always been taking an interest, more than 50% actually, of the flows of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is international investors.
Okay, so it is a good idea for those that are that's watching this video that's sitting somewhere else to get in contact with a company such as yourself and Crede to talk about international investments.
100%. I mean, we've got local fund managers that manage global funds.
Okay.
It's located right here.
Okay.
There's nothing that the South African investors from the financial services that they cannot do that anybody sitting anywhere across the world can do.
Okay,
we can do anything that somebody sitting in Australia, in the US, or London can do.
Okay. Well, that says a lot. And of course, like I said, Crede, which is, Sandile's company, can definitely get you in the game if you're interested in trying to say, you know what's in Africa? First of all, is it safe? Well, companies such as this can definitely, make sure your funds are okay. And also, you'll be working with a young man like this who can definitely make sure your stuff is completely in order. And another thing that I want to ask is, so a lot of people in the U.S. There, we do invest locally. When I say locally, within the U.S., because there's a lot of established brands. We know what brands that we need to work with to be able to take our hard-earned money and to plop down and to it's something large such as Apple or Google or something that's very small. Can you do the same thing here?
Yeah, 100%. So you'll find global managers. We've got a fund management business called Blue Alpha Investment Management.
Okay.
In South Africa, that's won 3 years in a row the best global fund manager. And what you've got in that fund is a lot of tech companies that have performed really, really, really well. Pharmaceutical companies, global companies. The most important thing is, what is the structure of that fund? Is it domiciled in South Africa? Is it in rand terms? Or is it in dollar terms, domiciled in a different jurisdiction? But as from a management perspective, in terms of generating returns, we do it straight from South Africa.
Okay.
Just like any investor sitting anywhere in the world could. But more than anything, if you are interested also within the South African investment, what's happening here, companies that are South Africans that are listed.
Okay.
Again, probably best place to do it is with the local. That knows best, that's close to the ground. Okay. I mean, we've just assisted a company out of Brazil to expand into South Africa. They couldn't believe it. We got most of the things done within a space of 2 months. They said in their own country they couldn't get what we did in 2 months in a space of 6 months.
So it sounds like you would recommend that those, especially that are outside, South Africa, to look at South Africa seriously in reference to short-term, mid-term, and long-range investments.
100%. So you've got different kinds of investors. You've got investors that want to put permanent capital into South Africa or in Africa that are looking for businesses to invest in.
Yes.
That we can assist with.
Okay.
Right? You've got investors that have got, their own personal savings. They want some liquidity. They want to be able to see how their investments are doing every day. But they're interested in having something different that behaves different. That is South African, South African companies. That's available. Those are the listed funds, collective investment schemes. There's a lot of them. They're listed. The South African Financial Sector Conduct Authority is amongst the best regulators globally within the financial services as well.
Okay, because I know that there's a lot of people that are sitting in the United States and they're like, I've been working with these funds in the U.S. I've been actually, investing, for years, but I always, like you said, I want a different animal. I want something different, and I want to know what my returns could actually be like. So let's say there's a local company, as you say, because first of all, the investment dollar is actually going directly to that company, so they can build and get bigger and stronger, and that obviously helps South Africa. Number two, people kind of want to know what type of returns are happening in that market. Do you have any idea, like what type of returns when people are saying, I got my individual retirement account, I got $100K in there, I want to take $100K and invest in a company here in South Africa. Do you have any idea, like what kind of returns are we looking at if it's a profitable company?
Yeah, so I mean, it's always hard to generalize.
Yeah.
So maybe let's start with the different kind of asset classes, right? So
Okay.
if you want to invest in something unlisted, which means a private equity,
Mm-hmm.
you know, retirement funds would not really suggest it for those kind of because you need liquidity to some degree with your retirement. But those kind of unlisted, dependent on which stage those businesses are, will generate a different return.
Okay.
So most of your private equity funds, early stage funds, will target anything around your late 18s to your 30% return.
Ooh.
But those are the kind of return that you expect somebody who's got time on their side,
Yes.
who's patient, has got a bit of risk appetite, and doesn't have an urgent need for liquidity.
Yes.
All right? You've got an urgent need for liquidity, you need something accessible, you need something that you can see every day, and your risk appetite is not that great. I think your fixed income, your bond, your cash, combined with a bit of equities unlisted,
Mm-hmm.
is something that you should look at. Then we normally ask clients to look at anything between inflation plus 4 to 6%.
Okay.
Inflation in South Africa being around 6%, which
Yes.
means on a long-term basis, annualized return of around about 10 to 12% are not bad returns for retirement savings,
Okay.
right? Where you've got liquidity, if you need your cash, you can put in a withdrawal, and the following day you've liquidated and you've got your capital.
Correct. Okay. Um. So, and it sounds like that if anybody's in those types of situations, reaching out to you and your company, you can manage all of that for them.
Yeah. So I think number one, it comes down to how well informed the investor
Of
is,
course.
risk appetite. What they're looking to do. Is it a businessman looking to expand their businesses? Is
Exactly.
it an individual that's saying I want to retire? And I think South Africa is a lovely place.
It is a lovely place. There's no thinking about it. It's a lovely place. I'm vouching for South Africa in this case.
So different investors have got different needs, and we should be able to basically at least give guidance
Okay.
to the different kind of needs that are on the table, that are looking at investing or looking at different opportunities to develop within South Africa.
Okay.
And if not in South Africa, we've got different partners in the other African countries as well.
Oh, so we can also. I know a lot of us are interested in, doing your African ancestry and finding out. Well, I'm from Ghana. However, you don't have any financial services person that you're comfortable with or work or willing to work with, but you can also still work with a company here in Africa, and it's your company.
100%.
Yeah.
It's always great to understand there's a point of accountability in everything that's taking place.
Yeah, exactly.
So when a client does come through to us, it doesn't matter whether they end up in anywhere on the continent.
Yes.
We got to remain accountable for what the client asked us to do, who we put them in touch with, and ultimately the solution that they end up with.
Okay. Okay. So as an individual, you'll be taken care of. You'll be sorted, as we say here in South Africa. And plus, he's a Zulu man. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a man. And interestingly enough, South Africa talk about academic qualifications and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the guys that you're going to find here, you're going to find them working out of London. The
Mm-hmm.
academic qualification, the CFA charter holder is a US qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us carry that qualification within the investment space. CFA
Okay.
charter holders. I've gone to school in Canada. So a lot of us, to some degree, are global citizens.
Okay.
But we love home. We think this is a great place to invest.
Yeah. So what do you see is, because, for me, in my perspective as an American, it seems like this is kind of like a wild, wild west. There's a lot happening here, a lot of growth, because you guys are a young democracy. And it's kind of like being in the U.S. and getting in early on, like in the 1800s. And then, now what the results are. And you wish you would have bought that Wells Fargo stock way back when in the 1800s. But here, it's kind of, for me, it seems very similar. You can get in on something now, and over a period of time, because South Africa is growing, in my opinion, pretty fast.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's a simple example that we use.
Mhm.
You know, there's communities where people don't have a toothbrush in certain communities.
Correct.
Imagine those individuals in a year of millions to a billion individuals that are able to afford from the smallest retail item that
Mhm.
a year or two ago they could not afford.
Correct.
Imagine them getting better educated and getting better broadband infrastructure. So
Mhm.
what Africa is able to do is leapfrog some of the developments that other countries went through because simply of just where we are,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, the pay-as you go of, as far as the cell phone,
Yes.
the call me back, those are South African inventions. The creepy crawly, the pool creepy crawly,
Yeah.
that's a South African invention.
I like that thing. No, seriously, I had a pool in the States and it was a mess. I always had to get in it and clean it. But the creepy crawly, you guys who don't know, if you have a pool, you put it in there. You attach it to your water system in your pool, and it just goes around. It creeps all over the pool up the stairs, on the walls, and it cleans your pool. It keeps your pool clean all the time. But
Yeah. So South Africans can be quite creative, right?
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of inventions because we've got a lot of needs and different, I suppose, challenges.
Mhm.
But they're challenges that, in our view, you can commercialize throughout the continent and throughout the world. And we've seen that. We've seen South African companies really expand throughout the globe. You find South African companies that now are domiciled out of London,
Yeah.
out of the US. And the growth for us comes with, in a couple of years, we're going to have the youngest population group with over 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Think about what that will generate.
Yeah, and you're right. As far as the youth here, I think the average age is what, 27, somewhere there and about on average. But I will tell you, if you're sitting outside of South Africa, you have the opportunity to engage. You have the opportunity to be part of the growth, even if you're not here. There are many companies that would love for you as an individual to invest in, and if you obviously you don't know all the companies. Some of the companies are American companies that are disguised. I say macro. Macro is Walmart. It's Walmart all day, but South Africans never seen a Walmart, but they have because it's macro.
Yeah.
Massive. They're like Sam's Clubs or Costco's, and they're that big in the U.S. But you do have the opportunity to participate. Now, again, if you don't know because there's so much here that you don't know. Most of the stuff that you have in the U.S. that you covered, they have here in South Africa, most of the stuff. But then a lot of things that we have here in South Africa, you guys don't have in the States, and it's doing very well. And so if you don't know what's available, that's when you contact this man right here and his company Crede and have a conversation to determine what's available and where should I put my money. He can send you projections. He can send you pretty much everything that they need to so they can make an informed decision on where they need to invest their money.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. You got anything to say about to the individual investors?
Yeah. I think diversification is the only thing you get for free in the world, right?
Yeah.
They say there's nothing for free. I think an opportunity to diversify your investment,
Mm-hmm.
your global view,
Yeah.
your taste.
Yeah.
We think this is a great lending place to lend. We've seen a lot of investors. We've seen a lot of U.S. Corporate, international corporate that are now in South Africa.
Yeah.
That have been here for a very long time and continue to grow throughout the continent from here.
Yeah.
We've got amazing opportunities. We invest in water.
Yeah.
Water is a great investment opportunity that we've started. Biggest investment from international has been in the energy space within South Africa and most of the neighboring countries as well. So our view is take a look.
Yeah.
At the very least, if you don't do anything, you'll learn.
Exactly. Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit because I kind of want to talk about those companies because obviously we do what we do. We do have people who contact us. When I say people, I mean companies, investment houses, people that are looking at trying to do business here in South Africa. And they're like, but I don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. And I'm not just talking about from a business perspective. They're looking to, they want to invest in South Africa through an apparatus or through a company like yours. So if you are a investment house in the United States, should they contact you?
100%. So that's our call it one of our primary business. I've just said we've just assisted an international company out of Brazil to expand into Africa and completely set up in Africa.
Yeah.
We've managed funds on behalf of international firms. We've raised money from the IFC, World Banks. We've spent time in Washington.
Yeah.
We've
My favorite.
So we've managed money for CFM, the Swiss, the Norwegians. We've managed money for the French Development Bank. We've managed money for different international investors. So what we do get and what we like to interact with, it's a lot of companies that are looking to do something where we can give them feet on the ground, real information, whether it be due diligence, whether it be the modeling, whether it be verifying the fact, or whether it be helping them to partner up with the relevant parties or actually managing the funds that they need to deploy into different opportunities within South Africa or the rest of the continent.
And in your position, you guys do a lot of fundraising as well for people who are looking, like for companies that are coming in that are looking for opportunities. You guys can basically assist them to get funding, because I know sometimes if you're doing something, the government will say, well, we will give you a credit or a discount, or I mean, you guys can manage all that as well, correct?
Yeah, 100%. So we come across a lot of companies that are looking for funders, tech companies, housing, property, infrastructure, within the water, which is a space that we like, within the energy space, which is also a space that we like a lot. So there's the fintech space that is really growing within the continent. There's the logistics space, which is also growing within the continent. So there's tech companies that are out there. There is real entrepreneurs that are looking for capital, that are looking for support, that are looking for permanent capital that will give them time to actually do what they need to do. So we come across a lot of those opportunities. If investors would like to extend and are looking for a partner in investing in some of these opportunities, evaluating these opportunities, or co-investing in these opportunities. As we currently speak, we service the largest institutional investor on the continent to evaluate deals on the continent.
Really? That's pretty good.
So we come across, the relationships are there. The introduction to the different investors is something also that we can assist with.
Good. So it sounds like you guys, because like I said, I know we get a lot of calls, and of course you can actually reach out to us as well. We can connect you with Crede, and of course Sandile, and maybe you can start a conversation and see exactly where it can go. But I can tell you this: it won't go anywhere unless you have a conversation. You gotta reach out, and you gotta say, hey, you know what? Africa is a place that it's not new. Obviously, it's been here for a while. Africa, it's been here for a while, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it's been here for a while. But your interaction with South Africa or Africa in general has been non-existent. A lot of us are melanated, and we want to do something on the continent. We could build generational wealth right here in South Africa, and possibly never even step foot. Or if you're living in South Africa as a South African, I would suggest, if you have any means or you have an opportunity or have any means, reach out to this company as well. And of course, you can reach out to us, and we can pass that information on. But we would love for everyone to be in the financial space, to empower themselves, and of course to make sure that you have some money in your pocket and future money, right?
100%.
Okay. Is there anything else you think that people should know about your company?
Yeah, what's most probably one of the most exciting things about our company, right?
Hmm.
It's we've got a lot of young people here that do amazing things, right? That are
Okay.
creative, that are great, and like interacting with the different kind of investors. The more of a bigger network we've got,
Hmm.
that's how business gets created. That's how we see the opportunities. Um, Again, some people come down, they need risk services when they are in the country. They need from different insurance, from different things. Those are all things that we can assist with. But more than that, this is an African business that will reflect the demographics of this continent,
Hmm.
but it's got global ambitions. You know.
Okay. Okay. But that's what a lot of us are looking for. I know I just got a call recently from a young man who's from the U.S. He's working in Abu Dhabi because he has a company there because he said it's very saturated in the U.S. The competition level is extreme. So he moved to Abu Dhabi, and then he gave me a call the other day, and he's like, what's going on in South Africa? And he found out through a friend that I was here, and so he's looking at wanting to have conversations about starting businesses and extending his business here in South Africa. And people such as yourself who are well positioned, who spend a lot of time with the JSE or the Joburg stock exchange. Um, the environment. You know it very well. And we need people such as yourself that can help us, especially those in the diaspora, to negotiate and matriculate here on the continent. And from my perspective, most things start here in Joburg when you start talking about branching out into the rest of Africa.
Yeah,
And you're here in Joburg. Matter of fact, we're currently in Sandton City.
yeah,
Yeah. So and most things happen here in Sandton City.
yeah. 100%. I suppose they say this is the richest square mile in Africa.
Exactly, exactly. So you guys, we were fortunate enough to get the opportunity to have this conversation, and we're going to hopefully have more talking about investments and what to do. So I would suggest that you start leaving your emails. I mean, in your emails, start sending questions. We will definitely try to answer all of them, and we can start talk about investing in Africa, regardless if it's South Africa or anywhere else on the continent. And if you are an investment house who is looking at partnering in companies that are looking at partnering here with companies here in South Africa, and you need a go-between, you need a company that can do your due diligence, make sure everything is in order, and make sure everything is proper, well, then here you are again. So we hope to see you soon, and let's start investing in South Africa. Wow, I know you guys watched this video and are probably like, wow, we did not know we had this much power here on the continent. And you can access it fairly easily. I gave you all the contact information and so forth, but it always makes it easier for you when you actually come here as a tourist on a trip so you can see it for yourself, you can feel it, you can understand it. And so when you do reach out to Crede with your ideas and things that you want to do, you have a point of reference. And chances are you can swing by the office because it's not like it's closed. So we would love for you to continue to stay with us, follow us, and of course I asked you earlier to subscribe and like our videos. It helps us out on YouTube as well, so other people such as yourself can get the information, because our job is to use a grassroots effort to reach our people, because all of this is tourism. I think people would come to South Africa to see what else is available if they knew that they had an opportunity to do things in the financial space. And we got top level people here in South Africa that are waiting for us to assist. So let's do this. And hope to hear from you soon. And go ahead and contact us at The Real South Africa so we can go ahead and book your trip today.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.